Now, there's not very many people that are very transparent with you guys when it comes to crypto. I am, you know what I mean? And I'm doing that now because, again, we haven't really started going into the craziness of a real bull market. When the real bull market comes, I'm not going to be showing you because it's going to be too much. Some people will not be able to deal with millions of dollars in crypto. They're just not going. They won't believe it, and then you get a bunch of haters and non-believers. I don't got time for that. But it's easy for me to be transparent with you now because I have to be someone. I have to know what I'm talking about. You can't come in here and tell people when the market does a little pump and stuff. You can't come in here and tell them, no, that's going to retrace. Don't believe it. You got to know what you are doing. You got to understand this stuff, and you don't have time to play. Everybody's right when you're making money. When everybody's making money and the market's going crazy, oh, everybody's right. Yeah, oh, yeah. You know, but you have to be able to know what's going on when the market is going up and down and it's very volatile, it's moving sideways. That's when you got to come on live and show people that you know what the hell you're doing. So yesterday, I told my audience that. I said, don't believe this. Now I'm gonna go back and it was just turn the camera around and see if I was right. I'll often have to tell people that I'm not a financial advisor. But if you want to make money in this market, if you want to make money with crypto, I promise you I know how to do that. I do. So let's just flip the camera around. I told everybody this was coming right here, okay? I told everybody. So nobody that's been listening to me that really trusts me is surprised that all of these red bubbles are here because I told you that people like me was going to take our profits. I told you that we was going to pull money off the table. Me, personally, over $9,000. So here's what's going on, and I need everybody to track me on this, and then I'm gonna show you two charts, and then I'm getting off the live because I'm not even gonna be live long today because I started late. But I just came in here to just tell you that I told you that I was right. So this trend line right here, right? Just reminding those who didn't see it yesterday, I'm just kind of retracing just a little bit for them. This yellow trend line is very important. Anytime I draw a trend line on my charts, it's very important. This one was drawn and was put up here in July. It's October the 2nd. I did this line here, July. Now, of course, I started, it was a little bit shorter and I was extending it out because you have to do that on current event. You have to keep it current. But what happened here is we came up here, which was a rally that we came up from January. You pay attention. January 4th, you see this trend line right here, that red trend line. So January 4th is when we broke out of that bearish trend line. This one right here. This was a macro trend, bearish trend line. This was a micro bearish. We broke out of that on January the 4th. And when we broke out, we rallied all the way up to where you seen Bitcoin come all the way up here to, you know, like 31,000 and some change. All the way from down here, you know, at $15,000 and $16,000, which is up in this area, November, December. So $15,000, $16,000 Bitcoin ran all the way up here to $31,000. Everybody, right? But it got rejected. It got rejected here, and that's when I drew this green box here. And I told everybody down here is up under this box is what we call resistance. Anytime you see a line and there's a bunch of, you know, candles closing under it, that is resistance. And if you get above it, then it becomes support. Everybody should pay attention to that, right? So up here, you can see that this is resistance. This right here at the top of this, which I just click and I can tell you $31,500 Bitcoin, that is a major resistance for Bitcoin, right? So we came up here. Calvin, why did you draw this bearish trend line? Because I saw an engulfing candle, okay? Meaning you see this candle right here, this thing goes crazy to the upside, but the very next day it erases all the gains. And it actually starts about 25% lower here. You see that? That's called an engulfing candle. Anytime you see a position go crazy this way and it gets erased the very next day, you can pretty much bet that it's going to go bearish, right? And it works in reverse as well, meaning it works in reverse. Look, I got to show you this other engulfing candle first in case you think I'm playing around. Here's a very, very large candle. And you can see that 2 days later here, it erased the whole position. And you saw the bearishness happening on that, right? We almost got there today. We almost got there. Don't even think that we didn't. We almost got there. All right. Okay. So, but this is still not very bullish because this candle right here comes through and he comes down here and he erases these gains. You can look for some more downside to test this. I'll get to that in a minute. But on the reverse side, Calvin, show me on the reverse side when this thing pumps go crazy. If you see a very sharp candle go down to the downside and you see those gains get, that downside, you see that loss get erased, you can see what happened there. Let's see if we can find another sharp one where there was an engulfing candle to the downside. Let's see if we can find one. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this one. Everybody see? Oh, let me go down here. Here's one. Sharp downside. Then you see it get erased and you see all that upside going on, right? You get the idea. But let's go up here because that's too advanced. I don't want to get all advanced in that. But notice this. This was right here. Under this line is resistance. How long did we get resisted there, Calvin? Just go ahead and show me on the ruler because I trust you, bro. From there, when we came up under it, from there till we got above it, about 25 days. Meaning we was getting rejected here for almost a month. Rejection, 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 right? We finally got above this trend line, but that's not when you get happy. Just because you got above a resistance line that you've been under for a month, you don't get happy. Once you get above it, has to turn into support, meaning you have to come back down and test it to make sure that it is support. We tried to test it to bounce off of it as support. We didn't. We lost the support and you came crashing down further. This is called consolidation. We ran right up here with a long look at all this. Look at this candle going crazy. And then all of those gains got erased. So you came falling back down. This time you came looking for support because you're way up under this trend line. The next level of support was this line right here. Who's paying attention because it was support back here. Look, this is just support there, support there. That's basically support, 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 support. Up under here, up under the line is resistance. Remember that. So it came crashing down. We was way up under this line. So the next level of support it had to find was here, and it did. It caught that support and it pushed back up. Look, this was a crazy candle to the downside, and that candle, those losses was erased the very next day, and you see it spoosh up to the upside. This is the reverse of this. Who's paying attention? You see that candle go crazy to the upside, and those gains got erased the very next day. Downward action. You see this downward action right here, and those losses got erased the very next day with gains. Upward action. I'm just letting everybody know. So here, well, let me see here. We came up here and we tried to test this again, right? Game up here, nope. Closed the candle up under it, so that means it was resistance again. Came up here, got up above the resistance line, got above it. And what did I tell you? You have to come back and test it again to make sure that it's support. Nope, we lost the support, failed. Came up here, tried to get past it again. Nope, rejection, 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 rejection. All that's rejection. Now we've gotten past it again. Everybody's all hype, but not me. If you've been following me, I don't get hype. I don't get emotional. I just look at the charts. We finally got past this resistance line again. How long have we been up under this thing, basically getting crushed? For the most part, it's been resistance for damn near 77 days. Okay, because we've been getting above it and losing the support, above it, losing support. So we pretty much being resisted here for almost 80 days. Who's paying attention? So finally you get above it and everybody's getting all hyped up. For what? Once you get above this and you got these candles, you have to come back down here and you have to test this again to make sure that it is support. This candle only pumped crazy like this because the government avoided a freaking shutdown. But newsflash, if you pay attention to the news, because I said newsflash, and if you pay attention to the news, that's nothing to get hyped about. That was just all you got was a 45-day extension. All they did was kick the can down the road. They didn't avoid the shutdown and said, oh, it's good, it's done forever. No, they just kicked the can down the road and said, we'll come back and reconvene and see if we can get it right in 45 days. That means you shouldn't be hyped right now. This in 45 days, we're gonna have to come back and see if where's it shut down this time. They got to talk about that again, is what I'm trying to tell you. That line right there is gonna come very important to you in a minute when I start talking to you about monthly candles. Because 45 days, they're gonna have to revisit that. It ain't fixed, is what I'm trying to tell you. It ain't. So You got to come back down here and you got to test this. Now, do y'all believe me? Now, I'm not, listen, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just asking my audience that rocks with me. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm just sharing this information with you so we can try to get to some sentiment and some solace together. We got above it, raised rejection. We got above it, came back to retest it. No, fell down. Got above it, came back to retest it. No, fell down. We're above it. We have to come back. Do you believe that we got to come back here and test this line to make sure it's support? It doesn't matter to me what you say, because I'm telling you that we got to come back here. Now, here's what some of y'all didn't realize, and some of y'all did. I literally yesterday, again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I told my audience, because I often like to tell them to write numbers down. I told them to write this number down right here, 28,475. Who was on the live when I told you to write this number down? Say me. 28,475. Just if you was on the live when I told you to write that number down, say me. Now, you see, for those of you who've never seen me before, look at the people down there saying me, because I heard you say that. Why did I tell them that? Well, because I'm looking at the charts. Look what happened. Check it out now. Understand this. This candle right here, it wasn't red. It came up here. It was green. It pushed all the way up here. Look, it pushed all the way up here, and it tried to get past this resistance line. Newsflash, that line right there is 28,475. Calvin, why did you say that was resistance? Because I told my audience, back over in here, this is basically support for support here. This is basically resistance and support there. And you come back here, that's resistance, resistance support here, resistance support here, resistance support here, resistance. Very, very important line. That's why I had this green box here. The top up here is 31,500. The bottom is 28,475. I literally told my audience to write this number down. We literally came up here to test that shit and got rejected. That candle closed up under the 2875 after wicking up above it. I don't have a crystal ball, but I did show you this yesterday. That's a fact. Now I'm telling you that since we got rejected here, I'm telling you we have to come down here and retest this. I don't know how many of y'all want to believe me, but I'm telling you, I think that's what's going to happen. Okay.